All right, what is going on, folks? How we doing today? How are we doing on this beautiful Monday? It is Monday, May 15th. I am excited to be with you. Welcome into Uncle Steve's Lounge. Been a couple of seconds, but we're here uh, on YouTube, Uncle Steve's Lounge. Please, if you haven't had an opportunity, please subscribe. Hit the like button for the videos, just to keep the videos going into the YouTube universe. Appreciate that, y'all. We're trying to get this thing hot and started. Welcome to everyone who's joining us today. Yesterday was a beautiful day. Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there enjoying their time. God bless those mothers that are sitting on high as angels for their kids, looking up, looking down at them. And for those expecting mothers coming along in the next couple of years, thank you so much for all that you do for us. Well, it is Monday, and I never got an opportunity, and I hate that I didn't exactly, but I never got an opportunity to go through the schedule with everyone. So I told myself on Monday, as soon as I got a little time, I was going to sit back and kind of go through it with everyone. I went through it briefly as far as, what we were supposed to do as far as the Falcons were concerned, just the away games and things like that. But I never got an opportunity to truly go through week by week and just kind of tell you how I felt about things. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to catch up with that with the Uncle Steve's Lounge fans and also those folks in Atlanta Bird Gang. Always happy to have you all with us. So, man, today also we got the news that former Atlanta Falcon quarterback Matt Ryan is going into the analyst booth and possibly on the studio show. He says on his Twitter that it is not a retirement. And I'm pretty sure I know why it's not a retirement, because he has some guaranteed money coming to him. So whether he is playing or not, he is going to have some folks out there to make some money from, so he can do his analyst gig and clean up on a couple of ducats while he's at it. But what do you think about that? Matty Ice getting the opportunity to extend his football knowledge to the TV. I think he's going to do well. The little small time I saw him in the playoffs when he was there on CBS, I think he did a fantastic job. I'm not shocked. Matt is a smart dude. I don't think this is a surprise to me that he would go in this direction. So, hey, let's see what happens with this. I think he'll do a great job. And last but not least, on the non-Falcon list today, just wanted to talk a little bit about our buddy John Morant, man. What is going on with that? I'm all about second and even third chances in a lot of times, but goodness gracious, folks, it's woo. We'll talk about that, folks. We'll see how that goes. But again, let's talk a little bit about those things. Schedule, Matt Ryan, and anything else you all want to talk about from a Falcons standpoint, just to see what is going on in the world of Falcons. Get on here. That brother David is in the house. What's going on, David? Hope everything is well with you, my friend. Ron Smith is in the house. What's going on, sir? Good to see you. David also says hot new intro. I appreciate that, man. I got some folks to put that together for us. So great job. It's got a nice little reaction. Appreciate that. James, what's going on, cuz? How you feeling today? Good to see you in the house. Thank you for joining us, as always. King Richie, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, as always, in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Scooter Rain, what's up? Happy Mother's Day, Auntie. Yeah, man, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Telling her she deserves all of that, brother. And my brother Berto in the house. What's going on? 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Y'all make sure y'all give him some love here in YouTube and take out the content between him and Smitty Sports Machine. They do a great job of getting those things to us. We appreciate them. One Love in the house. What's going on? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. And I appreciate that drop you gave me the other day with the Prince thing. That was good. And I did go back and my sister went into the storage bin, and I think she does have that in there. So you know what I'm talking about. So David says he'll be in studio and in-game analyst. Good move for him. I think it's a great move for Matt. And you know what, too? Y'all can say what y'all want to say. This could be something that helps his Hall of Fame candidacy. It sounds weird, but when you see him on TV and hear him explaining things and being able to tell you what's going to go on with the next play and things like that, you'll be surprised. People on the outside might come in and say, oh, okay, well, I didn't realize he had that type of knowledge. You never know, man. People are looking at all kinds of intangibles as far as trying to get people in the Hall of Fame. So I wouldn't blame anybody at all for, taking a second look at him. I still stand by, David, at this moment. I still stand by that I don't think he, first ballot at least, is not a Hall of Fame quarterback. I am going to put an asterisk there, though. Phillip Rivers is right before him. Phillip Rivers is going to be the measuring stick as to whether Matt Ryan gets in. I say this because I think overall Matt Ryan has had a better career than Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers may be the most popular, hokey quarterback guy in the NFL tunnels and everything like that. But as far as overall, not only success and things like that, I do feel like Matt Ryan is over him. So the mere fact that Phillip Rivers is 1 year prior, if you put Phillip Rivers in on the first go, there's no way you can keep Matt Ryan out. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Ron Smith says, kid just don't understand what he's messing up, talking about our brother, little brother Ja Morant. Again, folks, caught on another Instagram post live. Man, it's just this social media, man, in the wrong hands. I didn't even say in the wrong hands, in immature hands. It's gonna end up messing up this dude for millions of dollars. And I know that's not the most important thing when it's all said and done, but boy, you got to be more mature than that. You got to, man. If it's anything you have in the car with you at that time when the dude is in the car, dude, the gun is the last thing that you need to have. So I don't understand why he would resort to trying to show, I don't know what, trying to show his streetness or whatever. I just don't get it. But I hope somebody reaches out to him. I saw yesterday the little passionate section with Stephen A. Smith and Jalen Rose and Michael Wilbon. And it struck me when Jalen Rose spoke, and he was the one that interviewed him after all the stuff from the first thing. And Jalen Rose was the first one to give excuse. Yeah, he's just 23. Here's the problem. Yeah, you can be just 23, but they're giving you the responsibility of a 30-plus-year-old. Why can 75% of the guys handle it, and we don't give them credit enough for handling it? Then when the 25% of folks try to do things, we make excuses for them. That's just not cool. I think at some point we got to call it like it is. Y'all might not be mature enough to handle stuff in this league, or somebody maybe instead of going over there glad handing with celebrities, Daddy Morant needs to be more of a dad and try to talk to the young man and tell him, hey, come on, man. You about to mess this whole thing up. So I don't know. That's my thoughts. Kelly says, I hope Matt gets a call. Well, I don't know. I think from Matt's standpoint, as far as his career is concerned, I think the writing is on the wall. If no one was talking to him prior to the free agency period opening up in mid-March, and you didn't hear any whispers about anything going on, and then later we found out he had a third child. I just think that's part of the plan. And then also, when you start talking about that guaranteed money that he's due this year, no matter what happens as far as Indianapolis is concerned, I'm pretty sure there'll be ramifications if he were to retire 100%. I found it interesting that he gave a little wink on his Twitter thing when he said he hadn't retired yet. But I don't think Matt is going to take a year off and then try to come back. Like, I just don't see him doing that. I really don't. Alberto says, could we see any surprise cuts in this 2023 season? I don't know. It just kind of depends on how training camp comes out. Is it really a surprise if Richie Grant was on the chop block, or Michael Walker, or and maybe even Jalen Hawkins? But I don't think Jalen Hawkins is quite on that list. Maybe some of the favorites from last year that maybe, you know, if we didn't have the monetary circumstance we had last year, maybe they wouldn't have been on the team. When you talk about a D Alford, when you're talking about Caleb Huntley, folks like that Atlanta needed to fill a roster, and we gave guys an opportunity. Cornell just got re-signed, Cornell Armstrong. So there could be a couple of cuts in there somewhere, but I think there aren't a lot of surprise cuts. I know I saw a lot. As a matter of fact, Smitty put up a video about the possibility of Cordero Patterson possibly being traded or cut. I don't see that happening. Even if you thought you were going to save some money, I think he has been such an ambassador for this team during these lean years. Just a ray of sunshine, the company guy, somebody that you could smile and say, hey, that dude is really, you know, a Falcons guy, even during the tough times. I think this is the year you get rewarded for that, even if it's $5 million. And yeah, I don't know at this point whether he is 100% worth it as far as on the field, but as far as what he's been doing for this organization out front, just, you know, on the sidelines, just a positive guy. I think he deserves, if anything, just to hang around for that. And I'm pretty sure they probably asked him, say, hey, Cordero, can you slide off this money just a little bit? But I don't see that move being made. I think he's a great ambassador, and I think he's going to flourish. I think being able to to be able to lessen those carries for him and let the young guys, let Bijan and Tyler run those, get those carries, and then be able to come in possibly on third down and being able to return kicks on a regular basis. I think that's something that you could look at as a role for him. So do I think it's probably his last year? Yes. I don't see him getting cut, though. Not from here. Scooter says, I see Ja getting suspended at least half the season. You know, if it wasn't so close, this is almost like somebody walking out, getting a DUI in April and coming back in May and getting another DUI like a month later. That's what bothers me. And I saw something, I'm trying to think, that was Stephen A. Smith saying, and he was right. And when Stephen A. was talking about it yesterday on the NBA Countdown on before the game, this is self-inflicted, man. The guy that you have the opportunity to hang with the folks. You are deciding who to hang with. You are deciding your company. And you didn't think enough to say, hey, dude, I have this gun in my hand. Don't ask me why, but I have this gun in my hand. Please don't put me on live Instagram. Because it's not like live Instagram, you just push the button from your app and it already goes live. So homeboy, he took time to do whatever he had to do live. And so if your homeboy isn't looking out for you to say, hey, y'all put that down, I'm about to go live. Come on, man. Really not a lot of love for that situation. I hope he gets through all of this. But I don't know. Immaturity, man. Immaturity from one when I see others that don't get publicly slapped. Do I think for 1 minute that NBA players in the league aren't strapped and don't have their guns in certain situations? Absolutely. I think they are strapping and doing things. But you know what they're smart enough to do? They're smart enough not to go on live Instagram twice in a 2-month period. So I don't know. There's just something there that's just a disconnect. And I don't want to get on. I don't know what T. Morant's relationship is with his son. I don't know whether he raised him. I don't know what's going on there. But as a father, man, dude, you don't have any influence on him to at least say, dude, slow this down. You're going to mess up the gravy train. But to your point, Scooter, yeah, half a season might be the low end. Billy, what's going on, brother? How you doing today? Thank you for joining us. Brother Winston is in the house as always. Appreciate you, brother. Good to see you. One Love says, thanks for the. Yeah, brother. Anytime, my friend. Anytime. Wallace is in the house. What's going on, brother? How you feeling today? Billy says, always the dudes who never grew up like that wait until they get older and want to get into that. And it's a little bit, Billy, where you say, my son, who pays a lot of attention to this, 18. And my son, he comes to me with the first time this happened, and he told me even later, he ain't about that life, Dad. He really not. You could tell he's not. He came from there, but he's not about that life. And I thought about that when he told me that 2 months ago when he first got into all the stuff. And I said to myself, that's probably true. He probably has a lot of friends that live like that, joke like that, play like that, and they're popular and all of that. But at the end of the day, yeah, brother, you really not about that life. Stop playing. Stop doing that. Wallace hollering at our brother Alberto. One Love said, definitely a Hall of Famer. Definitely a Hall of Famer at some point. Now that I agree with. And I was looking at the numbers. Right now, Matt Ryan is number 7 all time in passing yards. I know stats don't completely make the career. But Phillip Rivers being about a little bit 600-700 yards behind, ahead of him. And I know Matt would have loved to at least catch that number. But if you look way down, even if Patrick Mahomes for the next 5 years averaged 5,000 yards a year, even if he did that, he'd still be more than 10,000 yards away from Matt Ryan. The reason I mention that is to say at where Matt Ryan is right now, he can say prolifically, no one has thrown, only 6 individuals have thrown for more yards than I have in my career. And I think the only person behind him that can pass him is Aaron Rodgers, which he probably will this year. So it'll be 7 guys once Aaron Rodgers passes him. That's a pretty good start to your resume. We always argue about Matt Ryan as far as his significance to the NFL because of his record. And in the playoffs and things like that. But let's also look at the overall regular season as well. Matt came in hot. Five years in a row. We can't sit here and say, no, that was because the team was a great team altogether. No, Matt had a lot to do with it. You didn't have the right quarterback from 2008 to 2012. You wouldn't have had the success you have. That's a lot attributed to Matt Ryan and Thomas Dimitroff, whether people want to believe it or not. Those first 5 years he was here, he deserves his flowers for that. He, in a franchise that had never had back-to-back winning seasons, and for you to come up fresh out of Boston College, 5 in a row, then had 2 losing records, and then 8-8, big-time MVP year, followed up with a playoff year. So if he retired in 2018, which I think he probably should have been thinking about, if he retired in 2018, I think he would have more of a shot to be in the Hall of Fame than he would now. Now, to your point, well, I think he'll eventually get in, but there are a lot of factors that makes me think, let's not rush him in there right now. But again, I say 2 words: Phillip Rivers. Whatever happens to Phillip Rivers has got to happen to Matt Ryan. If Phillip Rivers gets in, you have no choice but to put Matt Ryan in the Hall of Fame. John, what's going on, sir? Nothing is, well, I'm not saying nothing's happened. Everything is happening. Millie says, I kind of blame Josh friends. Y'all ain't real. You know how you let your NBA star continue to do the same dumbish. And I agree with that 100%. But you know what, though? We say this all the time. Even my good friends that I had long time ago that were good to me, I realized, at a certain point past 18, 19, and I had a different path. I went to the military. But even to a certain extent, you eventually have to do this yourself. You can't have your buddies all around. And God bless a lot of the, frat brothers and sororities, because I get that. That's a different type of, interactions. So I know somebody told me about that. It's like, oh, your old friends. Well, my frat brothers. And I get that. That's kind of different. But as far as influencers, these guys are influencers, and they have nothing else better to do than ride Ja's coattail. And only Ja can make the decision to not let him do it. So that's up to him. He's got to grow up. Winston says, none of the safeties are going anywhere, especially since Maven was cut. The 4 would be Bates, Grant, Hawkins, and Hellum. And also remember, though, Winston, you still have a lot of people keep forgetting when you have preseason. You got a lot of preseason cuts from other teams. That could happen. I keep reminding folks that year Levitri was let go, and we brought him in right before the season started. And then he eventually grew into this, solid piece of that Super Bowl team. I hear you, but I wouldn't exactly, tell them it's not over, as far as the safety position is concerned. Jeremy Cox, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Say, if Atlanta shocks the world because Felipe breaks, that will really test my limits as a Falcon fan. Y'all leave Felipe alone. Felipe is going nowhere. Now, it will be interesting to see what happens, because Felipe was the, I don't know how you want to put it, like the, look, he's on the team guy. But now that we seem like we're in the serious business game this year with free agency and this draft, yeah, Felipe's days might be numbered. Just might be. Wallace says, I agree with you, Unc, and I think this is it for Matt, even though he says it's not. He says he's not retiring. Yeah, he's done. He's done. It would be one thing if it was Andrew Luck retiring at 28, and saying he wanted to come back 2 years later or something like that. Even Cam, for a certain extent, this is different from Cam. Cam people are not reaching to him for a specific reason. I know Matt can't come out. He's got a lot of football left in him, and of course he's gonna say that. I think, especially after this last Sun, it'll be very interesting. I don't think Matt. I think Matt's done. David says this is a social media area. Everyone is chasing clout. True. But clout is chasing him. When you have talent like that, you don't have to chase clout. When you have the skills that dude was coming out of Murray State with, everybody, dude, they were chasing him. What are you? I mean, and maybe you're talking about his friends, which I can understand too. But I'm like, come on, man. You gotta grow up. Atlanta Falcon fan, what is going on? How you doing? Good to see you. My brother Philip, always in the house. What's going on, man? Brother, we're talking three things today. We're about to get into the schedule in a couple of minutes, but talking Atlanta Falcons schedule. We're talking the Falcons legend. Yes, I put it out there. Falcons legend, Matt Ryan, going to the booth, not retiring, allegedly. And just people's thoughts on that. And we're also talking about Ja Morant. That's our bonus we're talking about today. Ja Morant, what do you do? What do you do in that situation? What's your advice for him? What do you tell the young man? Winston says Ja came from the suburbs. His dad used to make six figures a year. So again, if that's the case, that's even worse. Winston also says Ja's not about that life and is going to get him hurt sooner or later if he runs across the right person. And when he says the right person, folks, he's talking about the wrong person. And I understand exactly what you're saying, brother. Because for the guys that he hangs with, I guarantee you those are lightweight guys. Because there's some pride probably in those guys who run the streets like that for real. And they could care less whether you are all NBA player, which he wasn't, an all NBA player or a great flash and dash player or worth $100 million. They could care less. If you imitating their style or you kind of stealing their stuff, man, some folks take that, Kelly Stinson says, I don't think he makes it in. Hall of Fame usually rewards postseason success. I think Stafford, Rodgers, Russell pass him before Max gets serious consideration. Plus, we've seen top 10 QB yardage kept out. No. The only people in the top 10 that are out right now, and I just had it here a second ago. Here it is. Okay, right now, your top 10 as we speak. Your top 10 in yardage leaders are Tom Brady, who will be in the Hall of Fame, Drew Brees, who will be in the Hall of Fame, Peyton Manning, who is in the Hall of Fame, Brett Favre is in, Roethlisberger, who will be in, Phillip Rivers, who I said we got to check, Matt Ryan, Dan Marino, Aaron Rodgers, Eli Manning. A lot of people say Eli's not getting in. Those 2 Super Bowl runs he made are going to get him in. I know the under 500 record. I hear what everybody's saying. But once he got in there, brother ran off 4 wins in a row because they were the wild card both times they got in the Super Bowl. That's going to weigh quite a bit on his Hall of Fame. They might make him wait a year, but he'll get in. And then if you pass that list, Matthew Stafford has a question mark. John Elway is in. Warren Moon is in. Fran Tarkenton is in. And that's pretty much where it ends. Then you get the Carson Palmer, Vinny Testaverde, or whatever. So I think Matt has a good case. I do understand what you're saying. They do reward postseason success. That's true. 4 wins in the preseason usually is not exactly enough to get you that clout. But as far as the yard is concerned, I just wanted to kind of clarify. Now, it also could have been guys who were in the past that might have been in there that didn't get in. But as of right now, And that's all I can judge by right now. I think he'll get in there. My brother Heidi's in the house from Atlanta Bird Game. Please make sure y'all go check him out on the YouTube channel. I haven't had a chance. The one thing I envy is because I'm not as good at these shorts, man. I got to get my editing skills better to make these videos, but I love going to Atlanta Bird Gang as he always posts not only past clips, but little short clips to keep us up to date on what's going on with the Falcons and the yesteryear of what's going on with Falcons. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe. He said, thanks for acknowledging my boy Dimitroff for having a role in the success of this team. Most of the fan base seems to hate his guts. They can hate his guts all they want to, but you and I know that if you're the GM, and people between him, Kyle Shanahan, there is such this disgust that you don't exactly see the whole picture. Thomas Dimitroff took over this franchise arguably at one of the worst times in this franchise history. Mike Vickers in jail. We got Joey Harrington up there throwing passes. The coach leaves in the middle of the night to go to a college. And you had nothing, no momentum to go into the next year for. In comes Thomas Dimitroff. Thomas Dimitroff had to have a decent enough draft, Matt Ryan, and free agency to get this team at least turned around. He didn't get the team turned around. We went to the playoffs. Not 8-8 playoffs, not 9-7 playoffs, 11-5 playoffs. And continued to run back to back to back to back to back. We had never had back-to-back winning seasons before Thomas Dimitroff got here. Has he made some questionable moves? Absolutely. Deserves all the whatever y'all want to give him, the anger, the vitriol, whatever. So I get that, but also give him his flowers because he did hold it down here for a minute. Loose with the checkbook, paying too much money, but yeah. Facebook user said Matt is definitely a Hall of Famer. Numbers don't lie here, Jonathan. What's up, Jonathan? How you doing, my friend? Congratulations on your son's upcoming nuptials. Yeah, man. Jonathan, definitely that's my only thing. I'm not saying he can't be a Hall of Famer. Definitely is strong. Good chance? Yes. Definitely would mean, you know what definitely would mean? If he was that guy today when he announced that, you would be seeing all kinds of B-roll from Matt Ryan saying, well, he's just waiting to be fitted for the Hall of Fame jack. But you don't hear that. And that's not, I love Matt. Matt was the best thing that happened for this franchise at the time we needed him. But definitely, I'm a hold tight to that on there. But I hear you. It has nothing to do with liking him as a person, dude. Hall of Fame, third, fourth year he was here. But yeah, that postseason success, we can't, as Falcon fans, because here in Atlanta, he's a first. Matter of fact, you could have put him in the Hall of Fame after the 2012 season in Atlanta's Hall of Fame. The NFL Hall of Fame, that's a strong one. Got a couple of little things on there. The MVP season, 2012 season. It got some good stuff on there, but definitely is strong. What's up, Greg? How you doing, man? From Custom Kicks. Y'all make sure y'all check out Greg for some custom-made sneakers. I think I have my sneakers. You know what? I think I put them out. My son is graduating this Friday, and he had his shoes in one of his little graduation pictures. He was posing with those as well. But next time I get them, I'll try to get them on here. But y'all check him out, man. Greg does a great job with that. Says John Morant is 5 years away from being worth over $200 million and he want to be old dog from Menace to Society. Make it make sense. But again, it kind of depends. We make way too many excuses for young men when they make we give them the contract to assume as an adult they can handle it. Then when they make the mistakes, all of a sudden they're a kid. That's why I didn't like what Jalen Rose said about him yesterday. I was very against that. You can't keep making excuses for some of these young men coming up. I'll see some of these guys who are second string or second round picks or whatever and handle this maturely. I've seen people get the same amount of money. I haven't seen Zion out there on Instagram. I haven't seen RJ Barrett out there on Instagram. I'm talking about trying to get people who are more recently drafted since Jaw's been drafted. I haven't heard anything about a lot of them. I'm not even saying they haven't been in the shenanigans, but at least they're not doing it live on Instagram. You got to be more mature than that. We have to stop making excuses for it. Can't make excuses for behavior like that. Tiny says, if Felipe leaves, then I leave. I mean, I can stomach 28-3, but Felipe is where I draw the line. Felipe's like that little mascot. Like, oh, come here, Felipe. Yeah, good boy. Yeah, Felipe might be out of here, bro. Oh, man. Tajik, what's going on? Tajik, how you doing, brother? Everything is going well. I hope everyone, again, your family, Tajik, the mothers in your family and all the aunts and everyone who's had children, just wish them happy belated Mother's Day. Yesterday had a great time. Saluting my mom yesterday, Laureen Johnson. Can't tell her enough how much I love her and what she's been in my life, and my beautiful bride, Kira Johnson, the mother of my soon-to-be graduate son and young daughter. Appreciate them in our life. So y'all make sure y'all, even if you missed it yesterday, make sure you tell them how much you appreciate them. Atlanta Falcons fan says Matt can get that $12 million as long as he's active. If he retires, he can get that $12 million. You mean he can't get it? Matt gets that $12 million as long as he retires. If he retires, he can get that $12 million. Yeah, can. Okay, there you go. I see it afterwards. Yeah, and I explained that a little bit earlier. I think you missed me when I first came in and said that. Yeah, so that's probably why he frames it like that. But had a certain situation like that too. Tony Gonzalez ran into that. Remember, it was a big deal about him coming in and declaring his retirement, and he wouldn't do it. And the Falcons had to end up paying him some extra money. That year after 2013, whatever the last year where he was here, and he would never sign those retirement papers, and he never did, and just went into the booth, and the Falcons had to pay him that money because he never put in his papers, just like they did Tom Brady had to put in his papers to give Tampa Bay some cap relief. That's why Matt Ryan is like, hey, y'all brought me in here. Y'all not going to pay me my money. So guess what? I'm still active. So, hey. Let's get it, GA. What's going on, brother? Y'all, please check out my brother on this site. I every now and then I go there to get some knowledge from him. Always spitting it out real good. Check him out on his YouTube channel. Say much love. The schedule is definitely in our favor. Congrats to Matty Ice on becoming an analyst for CBS. And I'm going to get on this schedule. And matter of fact, I'll pull this up while we're going to the next couple of questions. Kelly says, Ken Anderson, Boomer Esiason, and Matt Ryan have identical careers. Former MVPs, retired top 10 in yardage, limited postseason success, not in the Hall. That's fair. It's fair. I'll even say this, Kelly. I'll take it one step further. Ken Anderson and Boomer Esiason both with Cincinnati. Ken Anderson had more of to me, had more of a Hall of Fame chance than Boomer Esiason, even though both of them, both of them made it to the Super Bowl. Ken Anderson was MVP. And he probably was. I just missed that. So, Winston says Matt won't retire until next offseason. He get $12 million from India. We have we were talking about that earlier, my friend. Tiny says John Morant is a goofy. Tupac made a song about him. It's called "Shorty Want to Be a Thug." I believe it. Absolutely. And I said again, where is that? Where do we put Dad? Where's the liability with Dad? And I know he's over 18 and stuff like that, but man, if my son is out there and if I can reach him, and here's the thing, you must have a decent relationship because you're right there where you can hug him every time he has a game. So at what point does Dad say, "Hey, bro, you're about to mess this whole thing up, man. Slow down. Get them cats away from you." Or maybe he doesn't have that influence. I don't know. John says, Uncle Steve, where John Morant's parents and family and uncles and sisters, where his people, where they can get him right or at least try to get him right. That's why I'm blessed, brother. And I know I'm not making millions of dollars and whatever, but guess what? I do have some folks in my back that will at least advise me if they feel like I'm doing something wrong. Kelly says, Boomer and Kid Anderson were top 10 in yardage when they retired. They never got in. Okay. All right, point made. I got you. Point made. Lisa Shepard in the house. How you doing, Lisa? Good to see you. Say, I think he will get in, just not first ballot. It will be bittersweet, I'm sure. Had we won Super Bowl 51, he goes first ballot. True. I do believe that. He wins that Super Bowl, culminates that MVP season. Yeah, you could have probably started fitting him for the jacket that year. Ron says, I would like to see my boy Matty Ice in the Hall of Fame. And again, I would love to see him in. And it's not a matter of this is not a personal, it's not Uncle Steve saying, no, I don't think Matt should be in. I would love for him to be in. But if I'm a voter and I'm weighing certain things, it has to make me think. Going back to Kelly when you were talking about the yardage guys, and that's true. Everything you said is not nothing. No lies in what you're saying. But I do say this. He has such a gap between any significant quarterback, unless Mahomes decides to retire in 3 years. But he's has such a gap between that next group coming up that he'll have 2 or 3 years there where he really doesn't have any competition for Hall of Fame. Like the guys ahead of him right now, the only person coming behind him is Aaron Rodgers. And I think from that standpoint, you'll already see what am I talking about? Roethlisberger, Breeze, Brady, all of those guys are already be in. So I don't know. I think he's gonna have a good chance, but just not the first ballot to me. Facebook user says Dimitroff did a good job until the Super Bowl collapsed and he mortgaged the team's future trying to get back. The last few years of cap hell was all on Dimitroff. I agree 100%. And to your point, that will be his legacy. People have a tendency to, especially on the way out, we forget the start. And it's when you're doing bad, you're not thinking about. When Dan Quinn was at the end, nobody thought about the first 2 years when he took this team from 4-12 to 8-8 to the Super Bowl. Nobody wants to give because we were loving on him. Let's not pretend like that. There's a lot of, Dan Quinn was garbage. Dan Quinn, everybody was brotherhood, and y'all know good and well underneath the sink where y'all pipe is leaking, that little t-shirt, that brotherhood t-shirt is still sitting down there soaking up water. Stop pretending. Stop acting like y'all wasn't doing it. I was. The brotherhood. Everybody was into that. Embrace the suck. All the little cliches. We were all buying it. Stop lying. Lisa says, do the Colts owe Matt any money? I'm wondering if there's some contractual reasons why he didn't retire now that he's going to boot. So again, Lisa, as we were talking to before you came in here, he is owed $12 million guaranteed no matter what happens. But if he were to put into his retirement papers, Indianapolis would not be on the hook for that. Kind of similar to what Andrew Luck did when he was on the hook, when he had a lot of money coming to him, but he had to put in his retirement papers in order for Indianapolis to get that stuff off the book. I think the guaranteed money, you can't do anything with that. Like the future money, that can kind of go away, but the guaranteed money, you have to account for that. And Matt is probably going to sit there and not retire on CBS. And I'm pretty sure, as I told my son today, it wouldn't surprise me in January of 2024 if you didn't see Matt Ryan getting limousined into Flowery Branch to sign a one-day contract to say, I'm done, and do it as a Falcon. Would not shock me. David says, in my opinion, Dimitroff shortened Matt's career about 2 or 3 years with all the misses up front. Let's not forget the time between 13 and 15 when Matt was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. And let's also not forget that he tried to shore that up. He brought Big Boy in from Chester, from Washington. Again, we picked Levitre out the scrap heap. We drafted Jake Matthews in, was that 14? So it's not like they didn't try to address the offensive line. Again, Dimitroff did a lot of things wrong. I forgot who said that about them trying to them overpaying Julio and a lot of that probably had to do with Arthur Blank. Think about that. You had that euphoria of the 2016 season culminated in a heartbreaking loss where you were this close. And every time, just like in basketball, just like in baseball, just like the runner-up, everyone says, okay, we're this close away. Let's keep the team together. Let's do what we need to do to keep everybody together and run it back. Falcons almost did it in 2017. Give them credit. Their offense kind of let them down when Shanahan left. But when you do that back to back, there's this thought that, okay, all we got to do is keep Matt here, keep Julio here, keep Trufant here, keep Freeman here. And those 4 contracts alone, in addition to restructuring and pushing money down the line, all of that destroyed this franchise. So, yes, I give that credit to Dimitroff, but let's not act like Dimitroff absolutely ruined the franchise at the beginning. Didn't help at the end, but he actually got it there too. Lisa says, it's all about maturity. Ja doesn't have it. The money just exasperated things or exacerbated things. Sorry about that. Lisa also says, right, your shenanigans should not be public. Stay off the ground. And it's hard because, you know, that's the immaturity where you say, come on, bruh. I don't see now. Again, I don't want to pretend like I'm out there on TikTok. I'm just now getting the Instagram thing. I really am. I don't mess with all that. My daughter can tell you more things about it than I can, but just got to be smart, man. Got to be smart. David says Williamson and Barrett were 2 very good examples because they were in Jaws class. That's what I was trying to do, David. I appreciate that. I was trying to find people who were drafted in that class. And when I hear Jalen Rose, and that upset me when he said that, because I know he's supposed to be the street kid from Detroit. I get that. But you also have to, we can't make excuses when one is doing wrong, and then we don't recognize the ones that you don't hear from. The guys who stay out of trouble. We talk about them on the court. We do all the stuff we're going to. Look, even talking about people like Dylan Brooks, everybody was dogging him out from, he's a talk junker. He talks so much junk. He went up to LeBron. He whatever. I ain't seen him on Instagram. I ain't seen him out there doing stuff that's gonna get him in trouble. That's different than talking mess. So I don't know. Maturity. Kelly, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, man. I tell you, it's a proud day to be able to see him finally get to this point. So I'm not going to make any promises about my emotions this Friday. So it is what it is. Oh, man. Tyson says Gonzalez screwed us on purpose with his retirement because he was sour. The Falcons wouldn't trade him. Absolutely. And the fact, and like I said, I kind of don't blame him in a certain way. He was trying to still get that chip. And, Dimitroff played hardball with him, and he played harder ball. Give him credit. The Falconator, what's going on, Vinny? How you doing in there, sir? Always good to hear your take on the Falcons, brother. It's always good to hear you in the house, my friend. Always good to hear you. Thank you so much for joining us. Facebook user says, Dad, too busy being a superstar. Just ridiculous, man. Like when you're the parent and you're trying to get more press than your athlete person, I hearken to what's the little dude. I know he's not the dad. What's the little stupid kid? Yeah, I said stupid. Mahomes' little brother. You riding off your brother's coattail. Now you got some serious charges against you. And though I'm not ready to 100% say everything might have not have been what it seemed on the video, but you got to be smart enough not to put yourself in those situations. You're an idiot. Got to be smarter. Lisa says, check out my latest article on Blog and Dirty on featuring the Falconator. And you know what? I think I ran across that heading yesterday, but Mother's Day was so that I did not get a chance to see that. So yeah, please, y'all, if y'all get a chance, check out Lisa's article. I am going to try to check that out after we get off here and see. I cannot tell you how much I'm disappointed in our organization not taking advantage of this man during the schedule release. Because, I mean, if you're going to take advantage of somebody who is repping us to the hilt at the time when the schedule is coming out, I mean, I just would have wanted to see you just run through the schedule by yourself. That would have been good enough for me. But I digress. I know it's probably some good people over there, so I don't want to dog them out too much. But the TikTok thing, yuck. Scooter says, y'all check that article out. Scooter says, man, they definitely screwed me last year. I jumped off the porch and predicted 10 wins, which they could have got. But this year, I really see 10. Listen, my heart is going to tell me around that same number. But boy, I'm just such a y'all all know, y'all are Falcon fans. How many times have we gone through? The years we don't expect it are the years that we do good. 2016, I don't think there was a soul thinking we were going to be as good as we were. There were some people in the 5-year run of the first 5 years of Matt Ryan. That first year, that was luck. 9-7. Oh, we did back-to-back. We won't do it again. 13-3. It was a weak schedule. 10-6. They just now 4 straight seasons that people still not believing. Then all of a sudden that 5th year, 13-3 again. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, they might be pretty good. Because we had been through so much years prior. I don't blame, kind of longtime Falcon fans like myself and older who might say, yeah, I hear everybody saying the schedule, but remember, just like I was telling somebody I was talking to, the same way we're saying oh, we're going to win over this team based on them last year, those people are counting us as wins based on what we did last year. So I just always caution when we start talking about, and I know you didn't say that's good, easy schedule, but I do have more optimism this year than I ever have. Winston says, T. Morant is too busy being a celebrity to be a father, and this is a shame. He does. He really does want to be a superstar. Kelly says it's a bad look for his dad to be in front of every camera hugging celebrities while his son is throwing it all away. It's a horrible look, man. And I'm, even as I'm talking about it, I want to. There's part of me that wants to be careful to say, yeah, I don't want to cast stones and just say you're the scourge of the earth, T. Morant. But I also say to myself, now I'm just imagining my son. I don't know if there's a moment that I wouldn't try to do something out of the ordinary if I saw danger in his way, if I sensed wrong people in his life. I don't think I would. Who knows? But you seem to be pretty close to him. And you more blinged out on the sideline than anybody else. I don't know. Abel, what's going on? Say 3 straight runs and kicking a field goal might keep Matt from the Hall of Fame. You might be right, brother. You might be right. My son and I were just talking about that today. Kyle Shanahan, but I always tell people when we talk about that situation, why I kind of saved Kyle Shanahan in my mind from that. Kyle Shanahan ran up the score on everybody he had an opportunity to. Kyle Shanahan in no part of 2016 was trying to down the ball in the fourth quarter. He was trying to score. I keep thinking about that Rams game where we went out there and blew the roof off of them. Even when they brought in the backups, they were still trying to score. I was thinking about the 49ers game when they came here. He was still trying to score on Colin Kaepernick's last year. And I think his mentality was, you know what? It's been happening. We ran Seattle off out of the dome. We ran Green Bay out of the dome. And for 3 quarters, they ran New England also. I guess he thought for a minute they couldn't be stopped, but I don't know. But I'm more forgiving, and I say forgiving. I don't join the hate Kyle Shanahan thing like a lot of people do. People have to execute too. And I think a lot of the stuff they probably didn't execute. Maybe some questionable play calling, but people have to execute. Joker, what's up, man? Saying the Hall of Fame for garbage yards and points, Matt was trash. He only had 2 years. The rest of the years were trash. And I can't co-sign with that, man. And you're entitled to your opinion. That's fine. Now, if your quarterback is trash, you don't win 5 years in a row. Because if you're going to sit here and tell me we had a great team around him in 08, a great team in 09, and I know we didn't make the playoffs in 09, but we were still winning record. We didn't have a team in 2010. Now, those 3 years were prior to Julio getting here. So we're talking about 11-5, 9-7, 13-3. You can't have a trash quarterback and win 3 years in a row. The 10-6 season, the one we lost to the Giants in the first round of the wild card game, 10-6. That's 4 years in a row. 5 years in a row, which that was probably his best season. 13-3. You can't. I don't know. You can say trash. Yeah, I respectfully, strongly disagree. Was he the greatest? No. He came up in the era of Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning. There was not a lot of room for him to sneak in there. Not an excuse, but it wasn't a lot of room to get in there. But I'm not going to sit here and say he was trash. That's pretty strong. If you have a personal feeling about it, that's different. Wasn't trash. Facebook user says, me too, except for embrace the suck. I didn't know what that was. That was after we lost the Super Bowl. And that became the rallying cry for 2017 about we're going to have to embrace the suck, which we are still doing 6 years later because we haven't won. Wallace says, but we don't know if Matt will go in first ballot or not because we know how political the Hall of Fame is, what players get in every year. And it's true. There are some politics being played. Terrell Owens comes to mind first because there was absolutely, positively no way Terrell Owens should have waited to get in the Hall of Fame. Now, I know there were Hall of Fame players that didn't like his style and didn't like his brashness and didn't like his attitude, and I get that. And some of them say those are the traits and things that should have you in the Hall of Fame. Yet they didn't say anything when O.J. Simpson got in trouble. But so that was the first time that I really said, wow, y'all really going to keep him out? Y'all really going to keep him out for that? Because on the field, Terrell Owens, one of the marks is a Hall of Fame player for me. If you have a 3 to 5 year stretch, which is going to hurt Matt Ryan, if you have a 3 to 5 year stretch where you're one of the top 3 players in the NFL, that's a strong consideration. That will hurt Matt Ryan a lot. Because 2012, really good season. 2016, obviously a good season. But those folks that can put 3, 4, 5, see Tom Brady, see Drew Brees, where people are constantly saying he's one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league, Aaron Rodgers. That consistency is going to hurt. But you're right, Wallace. It is political too. Lisa said, embrace the suck is when I wanted Quinn out of Atlanta. No accountability for the greatest loss in Super Bowl history. I will never embrace that because it should have never happened. He was reaching, Lisa. He was trying to reach for something. When you're built on cliches, this is why I'm not the biggest fan of Dan Campbell up in Detroit. The bite the kneecap junk and all of that. It's all good when you're 9-8 for 1 year. Let's see how you follow it up. Slogans and rah-rah and stuff like that, that's good for college. And the pros, they're only as good as your record is. So Dan Quinn was living it. He was working it for a couple of years. But when the winning didn't accompany all of the big-time talk, Facebook user says, good night, Unc. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers of Atlanta Bird Gang and to your mother and wife. Hope you all enjoy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I share those sentiments to everyone out there. The Falconator said things are in the works. They have reached out. Oh, great. I hope so. I hope to see you in the intro. Matter of fact, if I don't see you in the intro, I am going to have a silent protest. If you're not in there this year, buddy, they should. Good for them. Good for them. I finally saw that interview with Terry Fontenot. He talked glowingly about Vinny and the draft. That was some awesome stuff. Kelly says Vegas had us at 8.5. I think we land pretty close to it. I really wanted that number to be lower so that could be automatic. But 8.5 is a good number. 8.5, I should say. That's a good number. Because I think we're going to be right about 9, 10. Somewhere in that vicinity. Facebook user says, I might be a little off topic. Never here. Don't worry about that. But I assure you, if Bijan Robinson did get picked from any other franchise, the media would be praising the pick. But because the Falcons picked him, they downgraded the pick. Trust me, the guy's real special, and we're about to be a dangerous football team. And, different from Kyle Pitts, I don't think the fan base is saying he's not special. I think the thought was from last year, the emphasis was going to be defense, defense, defense. And yes, I know we addressed a lot of it in free agency. Excuse me, but some of the free agents we got, Calais Campbell, Bud Dupree, are not getting any younger. And the thought to possibly get that game-changing-ish type defensive player that can be here for a couple of years and still have some tread on the tires, I think that was the biggest disappointment. I don't think it's a slight against Bijan. And I think that's where people said we always have that problem of when we don't get the person that the majority wanted. I wanted Jalen Carter. I really did. I think we made the right decision in the end. But I thought Jalen Carter was going to be, the right choice to come in there, especially with the veterans around him. Then, of course, I saw the little thing where he was on the picture, or kind of innocent, but at the same time, I understand. But no, Bijan's going to be nice, and I think he's going to really turn some heads. I really do. Now, as far as rookie camp and stuff like that is concerned, I'm not going to sit here and try to act like the guys running in T-shirts and shorts. Did you see how he made that cut? Well, he was doing that at Texas in pads. So there's nothing in rookie camp right now where I'm kind of like, oh, my God, yeah, that's good. Now, I want to see speed. I want to see you catch the ball every time. That's cool. But, Lisa says, I really need us to start winning this season. Fingers crossed. My fingers are folded. I'm praying, fingers crossed, whatever it takes. We're going to get into that. Miss B, how you doing in there, ma'am? Nice to have you, and happy Mother's Day to you. So appreciate you joining us as usual. Matt Town Dirty in the house. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you in the house. Regina Johnson, how are you, young lady? Says, as a teacher, I have to be careful with what I post, especially under my own name. Celebrity status allows some to post anything with no backlash. Morant learned he was not one of those people. Absolutely. I mean, that's as true as you can say. You're right. You're right. John Harris in the house. What's going on, my friend? John says, I'm going to say it. John Morant got off light the last time this happened. So for this to come up again, he's poking the bear, and the bear will claw your eyes out. The NFL will get that money back. I mean, the NBA will get that money back. That, absolutely, they will. And I'll also say, yeah, I believe what you're saying about light. You're absolutely right. I thought it was kind of a joke that they kind of played light on that. 8 games. Come on, man. I think if I was John, I guess I would have tried it too if I'm still that immature. So, I don't know. Facebook user says he was the greatest Falcon quarterback so far. There's no argument with that. What does that have to do with the Hall of Fame? If being the greatest Falcon doesn't necessarily mean you're a Hall of Famer. It doesn't. It means you have consideration. There's no guarantee for that. It's for somebody who wants the man in. John says, Matt Ryan, trash, was been a New Orleans Saints fan or a Tampa Bay fan or Carolina fan who said that. I missed something. I had to step away for a minute. Matt Ryan, trash, hell no. Yeah, I don't know where that came from again, but I defended that. As I said before, we all have different tastes in what we like and what we so I don't ever have a problem with opinions. But man, that's a strong one for somebody who has an overall winning record as a quarterback, a starting quarterback in the league, who ended up, though I'm not the biggest stats or everything fan, but in the top 7 all-time yardage leaders before he left, and has that MVP. That MVP is a strong thing in his resume. Yes, you would want to have that Super Bowl championship, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I say again, watch what happens to Phillip Rivers. Whatever happens with Phillip Rivers is going to determine Matt Ryan, his fate. Beginner says they see our series together and said, let's just see who comes out on top. I will just stay positive, but we'll wait to see what we're looking like in the first 5 games before I get too excited. So let's talk about that. That first 5 games for Atlanta, and I'm going to try to pull it up here since we are on here. Let's see what we got. And the Falcons. 23 schedule here. Let's see what we got. Okay. All right. Try to scope this down a little bit and share my screen. Sorry, y'all. I am not as quick as I used to be. There we go. All right, so let's put that on. Let's see what we got on here. All right, so we got the preseason games. Who cares? We got Miami, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh, and I don't even think they've even determined when those games are. So who cares? All right, regular season. Let's kick it off. September 10th, Carolina comes here for the first game. Bryce Young early. I like that idea. Hopefully he will be very green and we throw everything we can at him. That'll fool him. That would be great. Week 2 at Green Bay, Jordan Love, same thing. I know he started a couple of games, but again, first time coming into the year as a quarterback. That D guy coming in. So let's see how that will work. I like our chances. At Detroit, who came off a very nice year and keep loading up. Detroit is probably going to be one of those teams at the very beginning that I'm going to be a little afraid of. That could be an interesting game there. We go overseas and play Jacksonville. AFC South reigning champs. That could be very good, but at least that's on neutral field, even though it's technically a Jacksonville home game. And Houston Texans, we have here. And then we also have the Washington Commanders coming in. So out of that first 6 weeks, there's no reason why we can't go 4-2 or 5-1, in my opinion. So we'll start off there, see how y'all feel, and then we'll roll down with some more opinions on here. John Harris said, and another thing, I would get a 2x4 and a belt to show Ja Morant what it's like to be in a hood house. Wow. You'll probably be arrested for assault. But I get what your point. I get what you're saying. Lisa says, did you see the Myles Garrett interview with Sanu? I did not. My last few days, and I'm not, I'm usually all over stuff, folks. But again, I'm not going to apologize for, between getting him ready for graduation and this whole weekend was all about Mother's Day. So I have not been as up to date on things. That's why I was saying in the title, I'm just catching up to going over the schedule. So this is the first time I've had a chance to catch up. But I'll try my best to catch up with a lot of stuff, Lisa. I do need to catch up. Dexter says, I think we'll win 11. I really think Ritter is going to shock some people. He played decent with only London. Don't forget London fumbled the ball on the Saints and Ravens on game times or game winning drive. Oh, don't worry. I'm not going to forget. I was at the first one, and I saw the Ravens game as well. Yeah. I want Desmond Ritter to win, folks. I just don't want us to think he is leaps and bounds above Bryce Young, Jordan Love, uh, any rookie coming out this year. There might be some growing pains. I just want everybody to prepare for that. It just might be. I am rooting for this guy. Ritter, I am rooting for him. But we'll see. Lisa said he talked about Ritter and potentially rejoining the Falcons. And I was talking to somebody about that when they were talking about Sanu possibly rejoining. He takes a veteran's minimum salary. Absolutely. I'll bring him back. I'll bring him back in here. No doubt. Winston says we'll beat that little Fisher Price quarterback, the Kitty Cats guy on week 1. Wow. Yeah. Oh man, One Time for the Fan. What is going on, man? How y'all doing today? Y'all check out One Time for the Fan on their YouTube channel. Those guys are always talking good stuff over there. And got to get with you guys on this Rise Up tour and stuff. I know Benny was talking about it last time we were discussing things, because I don't know what trip everyone is talking. Sure, everyone's talking about going to London, and again, we'll figure that out as far as that's concerned. I know I talked to my buddy Alberto about possibly trying to make that New York game until I saw it was in December when it's going to be cold. But I really want to get into what's going on with you guys as far as the Rise Up tour is concerned. So please feel free to pass on that information when y'all get a chance to. David says, I want to be positive and say 4-1 through the first 5. Fingers crossed. One Time for the Fan says, can't wait for London. Cheerio. Let me start singing Beatles songs. Can't buy me love. All right. Stop it, Steve. Scooter says, Sanu said he worked out with Ritter a little bit. Okay, good. Maybe there's something behind the scenes. Maybe there's a plan. Maybe there's a plan in there somewhere. Kelly said Detroit is tough. Jags a playoff team that's improving. I think Love being in the system for years helps the transition. Yeah, at least he's had, and look, that's the same kind of head start Aaron Rodgers had. Aaron Rodgers didn't play until his, third year? Was it third year or fourth year? Third year. It's not like he jumped out right ahead either. Desher says, now throw in Robinson, Pitts, Jonnu Smith, and Hollis. Patterson will be our Debo Samuels. Maybe. Now, I don't know if that Patterson will take that role. I see Scotty Miller taking that role more than Patterson would, to be honest with you. But however it works, it makes sense to me. Wallace says Ritter is the better of all those rookie quarterbacks now because they haven't played a down in the league yet. Okay. I want Ritter to win. See, because I'm making quotes about this now, and I'm putting this down on video because I know there are folks that's ready to run through the wall for the anticipated success of Desmond Ritter. And I'm one of those guys, again, I support you as an Atlanta Falcon, Desmond Ritter. I hope and pray that you turned out to be as a lot of folks are advertised. But folks, I promise you, I am just holding my tongue because I listen to some of y'all, and I'm not just picking on you, Wallace, or anybody else. I hear some of y'all thinking like Ritter is going to be the next Joe Montana. And I just got to see more than 4 games where the man didn't throw a touchdown to the 4th game before I give that opinion. I don't know. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, I just got to see it. I do. I hope he does. There's nothing that's going to make my heart better than say in January, man, I was wrong about Ritter. Ritter is the guy. He's it. So we'll see. One Time for the Fan says, oh yeah, the Rise Up tour, every away game. Fat what, brother? again, I might have to jump on that. And y'all can kick off Big Country and let me have his seat. If I can get on. I'll leave him alone. I know he gonna come back and say something to me. John says it's okay, Steve. Happy wife, happy life. You had to do the Mother's Day thing. I get it. Rock on, brother. Rise up, man. Listen, that's what it was about this week. I'm back on the stick, man. Just trying to get back into the swing of things. There's a lot of stuff I haven't read, but I did want to make sure I touched on those things that were very recent, especially with Matt Ryan not retiring, but going into the booth for a second. One Top of the Fan says, we didn't think when we started it years ago that it would be this big. We are doing well. Pull up at any away game. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I appreciate the verbal invite there, sir. RJ said, good night, what's your assessment of Terry Fontenot and what he did this offseason? I think Terry has done an outstanding job. Terry has and let's also remember, Terry moved a lot of that money when it probably wasn't popular. Terry moved a lot of money where people were like, oh man, we're gonna get rid of Matt. We're gonna get rid of Julio. What is this guy doing? And now we're able to do some things, and looks like we'll have some money to spend next year too. So I like that. I love a good financial planner. So let's see what he has. All right, let's keep going with week 7. Week 7, we play Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker might not be on the field by the end. What's the other quarterback Tampa got that they drafted last year? I can't think what his name is. But, yeah. Now I look forward to Tampa games now because I want to beat Baker Mayfield so bad. Arthur Smith goes to his old stomping grounds in Tennessee on week 8. So back-to-back games there. Then we have Minnesota, who are coming to the Dome. Have not had a lot of luck with Minnesota at home. I think the last couple of times, I know we lost the game. Wait a minute. Was the one we played a couple of years? No, we might have beat them that one game. I know we lost the game they made it to the NFC Championship game. I know we lost that one. But yeah, we haven't had a lot of luck against Minnesota as of late. So we had the one win during the pandemic, and that was it. At Arizona, Kyler Murray will be back. So I don't want to overlook him, but the rest of the team doesn't look that strong. Buda Baker seems like he wants to wait out. So we'll see. Bye week 11. Now that kind of shocked me. Atlanta's gotten 2 years in a row where they got a late bye. So congratulations on that, Atlanta, for being able to maneuver that. I think last year we had 4 games after the bye. So this year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, 7 games. That's not bad. Come off the bye, and we play the New Orleans Saints, which is the week of Christmas, that Sunday after Christmas. Let's see what we can do there. Hopefully we can sweep the Saints and give them the payback that they gave us last year. As the aforementioned game, the New York Jets, we play in December. Aaron Rodgers. New York is a team that I think, especially healthy, if they come back healthy, the Jets are going to be a problem. Because their defense was already playing good ball. If they had a quarterback last year, I don't think they would have swooned as much as they did. But I don't even think they need to have an MVP Aaron Rodgers to make some noise. But the AFC is so tough. I'm not saying they're going to be Super Bowl, but I am saying they're going to be a strong opponent. Tampa Bay comes here week 14, December 10th. Then week 15 to be announced at Carolina. Hopefully we'll get some flex games in there. As the aforementioned, we don't have any primetime games. I'll speak on that in a minute. Indianapolis Colts, I say again, Folks, Matt Ryan, who has gone to the booth, had Matt Ryan kept that job in Indianapolis and they did some special things last year, this would have automatically been an 8 o'clock game on Sunday night. Matt Ryan returns to Atlanta. No doubt in my mind, if Matt Ryan ended up winning with the Colts last year, this game would have been on Sunday night. We go to the Bears on New Year's Eve and play the Chicago Bears. That's that's going to be cold. And then we end the season in that wretched Superdome against the New Orleans Saints. Now, I look at all that and I say to myself, I said, folks, what do you think the Falcons, and people are going to ask me, what do you think the Falcons record is going to be? I see 10 wins as well. I really do. Not because of the ease of it. I just think we have a team for the first time in a long time. We're not putting a lot of folks out there who are just coming out of college, just coming off a practice squad. Think about the number of times last year we were bringing people in fresh off the street to start. See Cornell Armstrong, see Caleb Huntley, see what's the guy's name? It's escaping me. But we brought a lot of people in here and expected them to jump right into the lineup quickly. And I think this year, barring injury, of course, I think we have a lot of potential with our depth this year. Maybe young guys can finally start learning first before they're getting out on the field. So I am very, I love what we have going on. Kivo, that's you out there, brother. Crowned Ones podcast. Y'all make sure y'all check my brother out, man. Good to see you in the house. Hey, Uncle Steve, what it do? Do you have any dark horse candidates to start in the secondary with all the new additions? I think Brother Clark is going to be, I don't think he's going to be that nickel slot guy. I think he's going to end up being the other cornerback. And I know Jeff Okudah, I understand, but go back. Some of y'all go back and look at that Utah game. I know we're big on size and everything like that. Go back and look at the Utah season last year. That dude was for real, for real. And he wasn't all Pac-12. He was an All-American. Go back and check on him. I thought for sure he would be like a second round, and I almost thought somebody would take a flyer on him maybe late first round. Dude, he fell all the way to fourth. That's going to be somebody that I think, don't be shocked if he ends up on the other side of AJ and not Okudah. Wallace says, Uncle, I agree with you, and I'm not saying Ritter is the next Montana, but the play calling have to do with him only throwing 2 TD passes. And you're right to a certain extent. You are correct. Yeah, Arthur Smith has to put him in good situations. Now, with the pieces that we brought in here, the solidifying of the offensive line, hopefully Bergeron will be able to jump right in at that left guard. I'm still questionable about the center position, y'all, but hopefully Dahlman has got that together. But if these additions in the offseason are what we think they're going to be, that might be the help that Ritter needs to be able to not only manage, but to develop himself into a force himself, to a weapon himself. Right now, I don't want Desmond Ritter to throw for 400 yards a game. Actually, if he's doing that, that means we're probably losing. But I want him to be that guy that can just be the leader on the team. Now, one thing I don't doubt that he can't be a leader. He has shown traits, even during the games that I've seen, of a good leader. And that's the first part, the part up here. The physical part, we'll get there. But if you got this up here, that's why I give Matt all the credit in the world. Matt had it up here. Matt couldn't scramble to save his life. except in 2016, but he had it up here. Kyle Trask, thank you. Thank you, Winston. Thank you, Dexter. Appreciate that. Kyle Trask, that's who I couldn't think. Kyle Trask might be starting by the time we get to that Tampa Bay game. That's how much faith I have in thank you, Kimo. Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask might be starting. That's how much faith I have in Baker Mayfield. And you're probably right about Kyle Trask, but dude, think about the story of Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, they made him such the poster boy so quick. #1 overall pick. Took Cleveland from winless team one year to playoffs the next year. Remember the little "I'm dangerous" thing and all the commercials. He was getting more commercials than anybody, even veteran players. Like, they thought Baker Mayfield was that guy. It will do nothing but make me smile to see Kyle Trask starting by the time we get to that game. Winston says 11-6. That's yeah. I can see that. No argument with that. Wallace also says high end 12-5, low end 11-6. I do not disagree with that. Also, keeping in mind we gotta account, hopefully, knock on wood, for injuries. But yeah, I can see that. What's going on? WGC and WGCG in the house. So I can't see 10 wins with Ritter as quarterback, and it's a big ask to expect Bijan as a rookie to shoulder the load. Now, as a number 8 pick overall, there is an expectation for him to probably be the guy carrying a lot of the load. But the mere fact that he does have Tyler Algier, Cordell Patterson, and whenever he gets healthy, hopefully Caleb Huntley, with some depth, hopefully we won't run him into the ground. But I can't help but to say I share some of your concern with Ritter as the quarterback. I do. It's not saying I don't like him, folks. Don't get it twisted. It's not what I said. Said I have concerns. I understand where he's coming from. Yeah, Dexter said he was a 6th-rate corner. Yeah, and again, he was, when you talk about Clark, he was really good. And go back and look at the game against Caleb Williams when they ran USC out of the Pac-12 championship. I'm telling you. What's good, Stephon? Good to see you in the house, brother. Everything going well? Winston says Clark is a monster on the outside, even at 5'9". Okuda better be on his game or he's going to be CB4. I'm telling you, don't be shocked, y'all. Don't be shocked. Wallace says Bijan is not going to take the load of the team. Now, I don't think the load of the team itself. But I do think this, Wallace. You don't pick a running back at number 8 and he's going to have less than 30% of the carries. I think Bijan will. Well, let me say this. Let me scratch that and reverse. I think Bijan will be in 50 to 60% of the plays, whether that be at running back, whether that be in the slot, to somebody's point, maybe being a Deebo Samuel type athlete. I do think he's going to be on the field quite a bit. Now, will he touch it every time? I don't know. But he could be a great decoy, especially if he comes out hot. John says 10-7, 11-6. Matt Down says if predicted to win only 2 games last year, how can they say we have it easy this year? Well, we played in the worst division. See, that's the part that's so misleading, Matt Town. Everybody is basing your season this year on what teams did last year. So if you play in the worst division in football, then you have those teams twice. So guess what? It's gonna look like one of the worst schedules. I guarantee you the teams that in the NFC South are probably in the top of the list of the easiest schedules. I'm trying to pull it up right quick. Easiest schedules. And here we go. Dog it. They say based on the projected, according to Google, based on the projected win totals, the New Orleans Saints has the easiest strength of schedule for 2023. And I know a lot of them Atlanta does. New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, Indianapolis Colts, Chicago Bears, based on projected win totals. See a pattern there? New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers. Of course, the schedule is going to look easier because all of us were under 500. Your division winner was under 500. Norman, what's going on, brother? Say just leaving from coaching my son's little league football team. I'm glad I caught you, brother. I'm glad you caught us too. We talking just a little bit about the Atlanta Falcons schedule. We were also talking about Matt Ryan and his move to the booth, which some may say, even though he said, I'm not done, I would probably venture he's done. Put it that way. I think he is. Dexter says, Arthur Smith can coach. To be honest, I believe Ritter's going to take the NFL by storm. Ritter better than Josh Allen and Hibbert when they entered the league, who played with less talent in college. We'll see. I mean, I know Josh Allen had a rough first year because they kind of threw him out there a little bit. But I mean, we'll see. I hope all the optimism pays off. I'm just, when people ask me about Ritter, I want to be as honest from a fan standpoint as I can. So I'm never going to diminish anyone's opinion about Ritter. I support the young man. You're going to have to show me a few games before I'm ready to commit totally to saying he's that guy. It's not saying I'm not going to be go Ritter out there. I'm not going to be sitting up there dogging him out. I'm just saying you got to show me a little bit. Matt Ryan had to do the same thing. I wasn't convinced. Matt Ryan, that's a number 3 overall pick. I wasn't convinced about that. But I got to see it. All the talk we're doing is nothing but talk. Until you see it on the field. Nobody knew Patrick Mahomes was going to come in here and do what he did. Nobody. He's picked out of the top 10. Well, no. Or was he like number 9? Something like that. But he wasn't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nobody thought he would do what he do. Nobody thought Aaron Rodgers would end up being what he was going to be. He wasn't Peyton Manning. He wasn't, coming in with all the hype. Obviously, the biggest example, Tom Brady. We hope, but let's see how it turns out. Let's see. WGC, Ritter is nowhere near Allen or Hibbert in terms of talent. Ritter is Ryan Tannehill. That might be a fair assessment right there. That might be a fair assessment. We'll see. One of us says, I'm with you. Clark's looking like cornerback number 2, and he's saying all the right things. And he got a little attitude with him, too. He got a little attitude with him, and I love that. As a defensive back, you got to have a little attitude with you. Got to. And I love it. Kelly says, Ritter doesn't have the physical talent that Allen does. We have to be realistic. See, I'm going to let you say it, and I'm going to co-sign because, yeah, if Ritter was the equal talent that Wyoming's, I didn't say West Virginia, Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Florida, that Wyoming's Josh Allen had, then he would have been a top 5, 6 pick. We gotta stop overhyping him. And here's the thing, y'all. He doesn't have to be super great. You know what I don't want him to do? Don't throw interceptions. Don't turn the ball over. You do that, brother, we in good hands. All this, he's gonna be. Let's just let him be the Falcons quarterback and see what happens. I don't know. That could be me. Kelly says Allen went top 10 because he can throw a football 1,000,000 miles per hour in an ice storm. I get that we have to wait on Ritter, but we gotta keep it real. Fairly said. Miss B says that's the delusional stuff I be talking about. How is Ritter better than Josh Allen? Again, you know what it is, Miss B? We want a winner so bad. Remember, y'all, this is the fan base that told you Ben Kirk was the future of Atlanta. Y'all remember that, right? Remember, why is Ben Kirk not on the field? Y'all remember the backup quarterback for Matt a few years ago? Folks were clamoring for him because he had a good preseason game. So that's all I'm saying. She's right. You can't. We can't make up fantasy things about him. So again, I'll be the first one. Just like I did the day they said he was going to be the starting quarterback. I thought they had some competition for it. They said he's going to be the starting quarterback. Then good. I'm riding. But just because he's the starting quarterback, folks, doesn't necessarily mean he's Patrick Mahomes. He's Josh Allen. We got to stop doing that. We got to stop. Let's just let the young man get a win or two first. And please don't tell me about the Arizona and Tampa Bay win, please. Ghost Peppers, what's going on, man? The addition of weapons and cash spent leaves the Falcons flexible to go another way if need be. Likewise, having a solid base of players in position. Let's all sit back and see what happens. See, that's probably too much sense in that part. Yeah. I'm more excited about the pieces we have around Ritter. And guess what, folks? Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me for saying this. Even that trader that walked out and quit on the team, if he had the players we had this year, he might even have a good year. Even though he couldn't throw to save his life. So you're right, Ghost. Having those weapons around and still having the ability. I saw something on the report. We might still be in the sweepstakes for Yannick Ngakoue. Hopefully we can add some more. But yeah, again, this is not tempering excitement. Because guess what? On week 1, I'll be out there yelling like the next person for Ritter. And supporting him any way I can. But I'm not going to sit here and try to compare him to Josh Allen and Herbert. I can't do it. Can't do it, y'all. Anyway, listen. I appreciate everybody joining me tonight. Usually don't have a late night show. Usually on during the day. But I thought I would slip in because I wasn't available this weekend. And probably this weekend with the graduation of my son, I might try to pop in a little bit earlier that day, but no promises. But I will definitely be here this weekend to check everybody out and see if there's any new news for the Atlanta Falcons. Hopefully we get some good news and bring in a veteran or two just to round things up. Until then, y'all have a great night. We'll talk to you all later. Thank y'all for joining me on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Don't forget, if you get a chance, please like the video and please subscribe and tell your friends. We'll talk to you later. Y'all have a great night.